Hello and welcome to Tuesday's programme.
Coming up tonight between now and 6:30.
Good evening. A woman from Cornwall has told ITV News being evicted from her home was both stressful and upsetting. Jenny Burton from Uluggan near Camborne was left temporarily homeless and says there needs to be more support for people in her situation.
Well, this week across ITV News, we're investigating the housing crisis as part of our series Where's Home? Tonight, what happens when a tenant is evicted through no fault of their own? Here's Grace Pascoe.
This is home for you now?
Erin sleeps on the wall side and I sleep here.
Perfect. Enough space for you both?
There is on the bed, yeah, but...
Finding a new place is challenging for Jenny. Many landlords won't accept housing benefits.
And Grace is in our Truro newsroom for us this evening. Grace, as you say, great news that Jenny and her daughter now have a new home to look forward to. But what's being done to help others to avoid eviction in the first place?
Well, that is the tough question and one that finally the government are consulting on. Last year in Cornwall, 9,000 people contacted Cornwall Council about homelessness and rehousing. 2,000 of those people had already been given their eviction notice and they needed help. It's hoped the government will give more security and more protection to renters, especially those that are no-fault evictions like Jenny's that you saw in my report there. And the housing charity Shelter want the government to act quickly.
Well, let's now turn to other news in the region because 5 people have died in accidents on farms in the southwest in the past year. That's according to new figures.
Coast Guards in Newquay are warning people not to waste their time and services with hoax calls.
More than 500,000 people in Devon now have 24-hour online access to their GP practice. The new service...
A large shark has been spotted in St Ives, prompting safety warnings from experts. Next, a disabled comedian has criticised train company Great Western Railway, claiming she was harassed and shamed in a row over her mobility scooter on a journey from Plymouth to London.
Tanya Lee Davis broke down in tears after she was asked to move her mobility scooter to make way for a baby's pram and was then apparently blamed for holding up the train. Robert Murphy has this report.
Now, a year on, Coverack in Cornwall is still recovering from one of the worst floods ever recorded in the UK. Some people are still waiting to get back into their homes.
Well, tonight we focus on the investigation carried out into the flooding, which has revealed 450 million litres of water fell on the coastal village. Well, our reporter Steve Hardy is in Coverack for us this evening. Steve. And you are watching ITV News here in the West Country this Tuesday evening. Thanks very much for your company. There is still plenty more to come on the programme before 6:30, including...
And after us, the ITV News continues with the national and international stories at 6:30. Charlene White has the details.
Well, more on Brexit now because the Totnes MP has called for a people's vote, in effect, a second referendum on the decision to leave the EU. Sarah Wollaston's comments come as the Electoral Commission has fined the Vote Leave group for overspending during the 2016 campaign.
Well, David Wood is in Westminster for us, where party unity seems to be fraying on both sides of the House. So, David, why has Sarah Wollaston spoken out today? Now, the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall visited the Isles of Scilly today on the second day of their annual tour to the county.
Singer Kylie Minogue says she would happily headline next year's Glastonbury Music Festival if she was asked.
Let's hope she gets asked.
Fingers crossed, eh?
Yeah. Now, it's possibly the most famous steam engine in the world and it'll be making history this autumn. The Flying Scotsman will be heading to Penzance from Exeter and Plymouth for what's thought to be its first visit through Devon and Cornwall since being restored.
Yes, and she will be heading over the bridge that you can see behind us this evening. Tickets for the trips in early October went on sale today, as Richard Lawrence now reports. Now, to an unusual cricket challenge, with a Somerset side led by Marcus Trescothick taking on women's Super League team, the Western Storm in Newton Abbot.
Well, Storm, of course, include World Cup winner Anya Shrub-Sol, but it's not often that they come up against their male counterparts.
It's all part of Marcus Trescothick's testimonial year, marking what I can only assume is 100 years at Somerset. He's been there that long. Carrie Davis is there for us tonight. Carrie, so is this serious or just a bit of fun tonight?
No, it's weather time now, and Charlie has joined us in the studio.
Good news for cricket, probably about 80 millimetres, so we're a long way off.
Great stuff, Charlie. Thanks very much indeed. Now, before we go, let's remind you of the main headlines here in the West Country this Tuesday evening. And a woman...
That's it from us this evening. I'll be back with the late news. That's at the later time of 11:05.
Now, they will hand you to Charlene White as the ITV News continues. From all of us, have a lovely evening. We'll see you tomorrow at 6.
Bye-bye.